Hey, now it works. There we go. There's one. Let's see if we can get Facebook back up and running. Guess when it's been this long, this is the problem you have. Let's see here. Let's see if we got to update it. I thought it was going to save every time. Okay. Maybe now. Goodness. Hmm. Stream key. Same thing. Oh, Facebook, you're always such a pain. Let's try that. YouTube likes to play nice. Why don't you? Hmm. Maybe I gotta do this again. Weird thing. Okay, Facebook still doesn't want to start, even though I have updated it. There we go. Okay, guess we'll go there. All right, well, hey there, everybody. Sorry for those on YouTube that if you were waiting for this, I'll have to edit the Facebook conundrum out of it. Trying to get things switched over to Good Stuff Marysville so this can stream there instead of on my personal page, but the personal one is the only one working. So anyway, I'm assuming everybody knows who I am. If you've gotten this notification that I'm doing a live, started this at the beginning of the year and just now getting back to doing a live update video. Hopefully do this every other week or at least every week, every other week, something like that. Just talk about what's going on in the community. What am I seeing? The things that I think are important to pay attention to. And just as a way to connect with more people out there. I've been calling it Highlights and High Fives. Celebrate what's going on with the good stuff theme. What's the glass half full here in our community? So I've got a long list of things to run through that hopefully we can get through most of them. And if you've got questions, comments, again, this is a way I'd like to engage with some folks and generate some more conversations about these things. I'm really encouraged. I've seen, especially with the levy, a lot of things going on, a lot of conversations that people are having more and more. So if you ever want to do this with me, I will be moving a lot of this stuff into the podcast room. So if you want to join me, you can join me there here in the future. Today I'm in my office. It's a little messy back here, so ignore that. But without further ado, what has been going on that I'd like to talk about that I think is worth sharing? The levy is probably the biggest thing. If you care, I'm guessing you already know and you've paid attention to what's going on with that. Lots of stuff being said about that, good and bad. Thankfully, it passed. I think it was, 65 to 70% voted for it, and then I think that equated to about 3,500 people and 1,100 against. So that was great to see the community step up. support the levy. A lot of effort went into that. A lot of folks stepped up. If you're on Facebook and you saw some of the groups there was lots of support there, lots of encouragement. I'm seeing on the other side of that, after the celebrations have kind of calmed down, there has been a lot of comments here and there I've seen of continuing thoughts of other options, income tax and different things. Hopefully we can just kind of let some of those sleeping dogs lie. And lots going on. I think there's a lot of confusion going on out there still, what's going on and what's not going on. So as usual, stay educated, get some of that. But it was great to see the passage of that levy. And I can't wait to see what happens moving forward. There's still a few challenges to overcome: state funding, federal funding. I saw Jermaine Ferguson went to the Senate, I think it was. Anyway, he spoke in front of the government to speak on behalf of our school district in terms of taxes and what's going on and some of the changes they're making. So I haven't listened to that, or I don't know too many details there. But just to point out that there's still some challenges going on. So again, another reason to seek to understand and figure out what's going on if you want to get involved in some of those things. One of the things that will be coming back eventually, from what I understand, are the SRO officers in schools. As a Marysville Matters article stated, it's not just flip switch back on. There's still a process. They've got to get a new written agreement of what that it's going to be. So the new superintendent, Zach Howard, Dr. Howard, is going to have to work with, I assume, the police chief to figure out what that's going to look like. So that'll be coming here soon. Best thing, some folks get to keep their jobs and the kids get served through this levy. Going to the Kappa Marquis Awards with my wife, who was the choreographer for one of the musicals that went on at the school, Mamma Mia. So we're going downtown to the Ohio Theater tonight to go check that out. So excited to go down there and support them, especially post levy. Get to talk to them and see how excited they are to have confidence in their jobs moving forward, but also the kids and what it means for their futures, and they get to hold on to some things. So my vote is to continue supporting that. I'm just going to jump around here. I don't have my thoughts super well organized, but I got a nice list, I think. As far as development goes, there were 2 charter amendments that got passed along with the levy, speaking to a longer period of time for petitions on annexation and zoning issues that come up, or changes that are proposed. And the other one was that the school board would have a seat at the table with development and what's going on moving forward. And thankfully, there has been some catalysts to make some of those changes happen, along with better relationships going on with the city and the schools, and just more conversations happening, just like I'm trying to do here. Seems like there's more conversations going on out there, and more people talking, which is great. So hopefully that continues. It sounds like there was a planning commission meeting earlier this week, I think on Tuesday night, and it sounds like there were quite a few residents there speaking their minds and giving their opinions there. So again, thankful that there are people talking, and hopefully there's more cordial conversation and conversation that can lead to progress and us growing as a community. So it's great to see that, and there's a lot to keep up with Marysville East, Marysville North. I think that was most of what Planning Commission had on the table there, although I have not seen the agenda. But that's going on. I think the fire department did a training drill on Raymond Road, on an old farm across from the reservoir. And if you haven't seen, there's a big ramp of stone on the other side of the road that looks like just a lot going on over there, with the connector trail to connect the Jim Simmons Trail over to the reservoir, stairs and whatnot. I'm assuming we'll go over that corner. But they took that house down, and there'll be some future improvements on the land there. I think it has to do with water and waste management, the trail coming through. So lots of movement there. But I have a lot of conversations, not a lot. I have a fair amount of conversations with folks about the city buying up a lot of land and whatnot. So that's something else I'd like to learn more about. So if anybody out there has any information about the city buying up land and the kind of mission statement behind that would be great to understand and be able to share with folks. I equate it to, if you look at Dublin, I'm sure there's some spots they wish they would have done some things different, or whatever community you want to look at that's grown over the last couple of decades. So I tip my hat to those who are trying to be forward thinking and preserving some space, if you will, to be able to future proof some needs, whether it's infrastructure, parks, utilities, whatever it is, in the city buying some of these things. The part I'm not a huge fan of is tearing down old buildings and whatnot, because once they're all gone, they're gone. But at the same time, if you never do anything new, there won't be anything old in 100 years. So I get that too. But that's just an interesting thing. If you haven't been out Raymond Road lately, the farmhouse there was burnt down from what I understand. My dad said it looked like there was a training program out there. So that's the only evidence I have. Let's see what else. Uptown Friday nights. The first one for 2025 is on May 16th. I will be there with this camera live streaming for the sensory-friendly Avalon experience for those that want that. I'll be doing that, so I'll be filming somewhere in the pavilion in Partners Park. Come by and say hi. Love to chat. But also, just a good time to get out. Hopefully the weather's good. Today and yesterday we're kind of on the chillier side. My daughter had a field day out with, I believe, with St. John's over at Fairbanks, and sounds like that was quite cold. So hopefully that's not going to be the case. But either way, Uptown Friday nights, or Friday nights Uptown, I always say it backwards for whatever reason, are coming up. That's a big one there. And I believe just the other day there was the dedication of Scott Family Park. I think that's like 122 acres or so, 112 acres. That was dedicated. Now let's see what this article says. Thursday morning, so yesterday. They just did it. You can see a nice picture there of the dedication there with lots of folks. So anyway, that's a big thing. I look forward to going out there and checking that out. It's been a long time coming. Yesterday at 4 p.m., Trust House Kitchen did their ribbon cutting, so that's official. I still have not been there. Tried to go for lunch yesterday, but they didn't open until 4 o'clock, so we'll see how that goes. Dairy Queen is moving along. If you haven't seen, there is quite a bit of progress there. They were laying bricks recently, and I think they've got to sign up for hiring, so if you need a job and want to work at Dairy Queen, check that one out. Dunkin' Donuts also is started. They broke ground. Looks like they got some infrastructure going in the ground to work on some things over there in front of Mill Valley as well. There are some more apartments going up. It seems like they're just growing like weeds. I can't seem to get away from them. More and more. What else? I guess better late than never. I forgot to introduce myself. If you're stumbling across this video and you're not sure who I am, my name is Derek Schwinn. I've been a local real estate agent here in the Marysville, Ohio for the last 12 years. I recently started a new endeavor, new business, good stuff, media and marketing, helping people tell stories through media marketing channels to communicate the good stuff you've got going on in your business or organization to better reach your goals through those marketing efforts. So if that's something you could use some help with or want to chat about, I'd love to connect with you there. If you need help buying or selling a house, I love marketing houses as well and helping people through the stressful transaction or the stressful process that can come with buying or selling a house. So that's who I am, and just been in the community since 1993. So love being a part of it. That's why I've got a Facebook page called Good Stuff Marysville, because I care about this place and I want to tell a good story, or tell the good story of what's going on around here. I guess while I'm on it, just personally, spent last week taking studio pictures at my wife's dance studio, the Academy of Dance and Performing Arts. So took quite a few pictures there. Got to see lots of smiling faces. We've got recital coming up shortly after that. I think that's May 31st. So anybody that likes to come see that, check that out. Like I said, really kicking things off with this marketing venture. So excited to see where that goes on a personal note. And just love getting outside with this warm weather and trying to keep up with mowing the grass, which is going to be my next task after this, and keep going there. So just a little personal update there for those that might care. And on an overall community note, like I said earlier, just really excited to see people having more conversations, banding together for their causes, whichever side of the issue they might fall. It's great. When the levy really first kind of picking up traction, that it was drawing attention and really needed done, I partially said I kind of would be okay if it failed. Not that I want it to fail, but sometimes I feel like folks need awakened to what's really going on in the community and some of the struggles and stresses that we're up against. And thankfully, I saw that without the levy failing. So hopefully that continues. I will definitely be doing that. I'm in touch with the superintendent to do quarterly updates, so we don't just talk about schools when we have to, but we also talk about it and celebrate the good stuff going on there and the fun stuff and kind of plans with the new superintendent, what maybe changes he sees coming, and if there are any new initiatives or things going on. But either way, looking to do more updates like that, and maybe I'll have him on live update show once a quarter, and he can spread some good word there. And in that spirit of conversation and updates, overall, I continue to see the tale of two cities. Just like with the levy and the post passage of the levy, there's still folks out there that are working to get an income tax initiative for school funding out there, and just different things. And a lot of times I get the privilege or stress of getting exposure to both sides of issues here locally. I know folks on different sides of issues, and so I see different things going on, and I experience the viewpoints they take towards one another, and intentions and efforts that are being made, and they're not always through a glass half full perspective. And I understand where a lot of that comes from. Those that are excited for the changes in Marysville, and those that would be okay if they didn't come, and all the implications that brings, and how that changes the lifestyle of those involved, and challenging moving forward. So hopefully we continue to have more conversations. Leaders continue to step up and be servant leaders to serve the community, and do what is right by the community, and listen even after the charter amendments passed, that I think were in some regard a voice of the people saying, let's pump the brakes on the growth and let's do things a little different. And on one half of the paper, or one side of the coin, I think there's some that are listening. On the other half, I still don't know if the two factions are coming together and appreciating one another. So I hope that continues. It's always good when we work together. And a segue from that, it's getting more expensive with the passage of the levy. My taxes went up $900 a year or something. And everybody's that's a property owner, their taxes are going to go up. And I think when you talk about the tale of two cities, for me, it comes to I've heard development folks say, well, isn't it better than it was 10 years ago? I firmly believe, for the most part, no. I was okay with how it was. I don't think we were in fear of, or in jeopardy of dying as a community. So the fact that things are getting more expensive, TIFs being implemented, so tax dollars are going to pay for infrastructure instead of development paying for development. Now our taxes have to go up to kind of compensate for that, and for different changes that just go on decade by decade as culture and schooling changes. So hopefully that increase in expense doesn't continue to be what feels like exponential, and it's a little slowed down, and something we can all manage. So hopefully that's the case, but we'll see. But overall, I'm thankful for the community. As usual, sometimes by nature I'm a little critical, so some of this good stuff Marysville and celebrating the good is my purposeful intention to be a little more positive and work to be thankful for what's going on here around the community. And as a real estate agent, I wouldn't be doing my good service if I didn't talk about the real estate market at least a little bit. So if you don't care about that, tune out now. Excuse me. If you'd like to know some information, let's see if I can give you some. So listings right now, we have 61 active listings on the market, which is quite high. Usually Excuse me. Sorry about that. Usually it's half of that. So that's definitely an increase. We had 47 close in the last 30 days. An absorption rate is what's the rate of houses selling versus what's coming on the market. And if we had 47 houses close in the last 30 days, it would take just a little over a month to sell all of the inventory that we have. So that ratio of kind of how much inventory do we have at the compared to the rate at which it's selling is about where it's been. So not a huge change there, but at least there's 61 listings and not more like 30. So you have more options. Lots of big things going on out there, as always, in the real estate market. Housing market, well, nationally, to impact the housing market, I should say more accurately. So I'm not going to sit here and speculate what's going to happen because I've been wrong in a variety of ways in my guesses, or just haven't been right yet. Things still might happen, but who knows? So anyway, list price to sales price. If something is listed for $300,000, on average right now it's going to close for $300,000. Days on market for those listings that have closed is 22 days. Those listings that are still active are 53 days, which is usually about the spread. So that's doing okay. So nothing huge. No huge changes there in the real estate space. If you'd like to take a quick look at listings here, this is probably my favorite one, just because I like these. I'm not an expert on house styles, but kind of a salt box, historic looking house. Not to get too specific, but $1.3 million, and you've got 20 acres there. Let's zoom in and give you some reference to where it's at. So just off of Northwest Parkway, there on Bear Swamp. Oops, the wrong button. Give you the satellite overview. Always do that. Oh, come on. That's what happened. One of these days I'll know what I'm doing. So back in the woods here. There's a photo. Let's go to that. It kind of shows you the layout. This house back in here. So lots of space. Obviously you get a little road noise from 33, but outside of that, great spot. We'll go back to pictures. Nice breezeway, open space to the garage. Wooded lot. Beautiful house. If I had to guess, there's a good chance this was a Paul Lazenby house. Built a lot of houses back in the day. Looks like there's a sauna in there. For those, that seems like I'm building a sauna out here. It seems like everybody I talk to, or at least a lot of people, want to build a sauna or have a sauna. Definitely an awesome thing. So really nice house. I love the aesthetics. 20 acres. Can't go wrong with that. Very nice house. But I don't know about you, but I don't have $1.3 million. If you do, I'd love to show you the house if this is your cup of tea. For a little less wooded and a little more fancy is not the right word. Prestigious maybe is a good word. This house, it's changed hands a few times lately. The biggest thing I would say about this house, it is massive. I forget what the square footage is. Yeah, 8,400 square feet. It's, you can kind of tell, but it's that space there from wall to wall is really big. Lots of space. Let's see if they show the closet. Yeah, really big bathroom, big shower. There it is. It's basically a spare bedroom for the closet. Let's go to the basement. This is in Hunter's Run. Hunter's Run is a great space if you've never been there. And whoever did these, the layout of these pictures, having the floor plan of the basement before you get to the basement pictures, good job. Not too many people organize their listings that way. I think these are like 14-foot high ceilings or 12-foot, maybe 12-foot high ceilings. It probably says in the listing. I can't remember. But it's got a movie theater, a basketball court. Yeah. Really great place to entertain. Man, for the gentleman out there, it's even got a urinal. Can't beat that. So then lots of subdivision houses. There's some new ones in there all over the place. So kind of dime a dozen there. There's lots to pick from. There's a few rural properties that Smoky Road. This one's been on the market a few times over the last 10, 12 years I've seen. Payne Road, there's another nice one. Here's a unique area. You can get some of the condo feel there. Liberty West, this is out by our farm. Just under $400,000. Good opportunity to get you a few acres. And then let's go down. Here's a nice historic one. Uptown, I like these. These are, again, a little more unique than the cookie cutter subdivisions you can find. So you get some character, some good walkability. Gotta love the pocket doors and all of that. There's one for $340. Let's see, where's the one I'm looking for? Whitestone, another one out in the country. We'll get you a little bit of space for you. Oh, Martin Welch, that's out my direction. Another nice one with a pond. Let's see, this one on Barker. This is the one I was looking for. If you're looking for a fixer-upper, there are always more challenges to find that. This is one, it sold for like $140. What was it? I think it was $143 or $134 within the last 12 months, I believe. Looks like somebody came in and cleaned it up a bit and got rid of some stuff. You can see there that they looks like worked on the septic or a cistern tank, but they went in and gutted it and did a lot of work. So I don't know if that means that they found some problems they don't want to deal with, or they ran out of money, or what the case is. But a great opportunity for those folks that are looking for something they can make their own or fix up and sell. The only opportunity really in the Marysville School District that kind of fits that bill. But another great part of it, so this is Barker Road here, one of the back ways I take home. But you are, I guess I'm not on Google Maps to measure, but you're only that far from town. So great opportunity to still be close to town. So that's my update from a housing standpoint. And let's go to this picture, or this slide from Stephanie Segrist with First Federal Community Bank. I asked her to give me some sort of mortgage update. So there's some information for you. If you need a great lender, the folks over there, Stephanie's great, hard worker, knows her stuff, along with the rest of them. I guess it's time for me to be done, along with the rest of them. So if you need any help in that realm, I'd be happy to hook you up with her or any other vendors that you might need when it comes to looking to buy or sell a house. Been doing it for 12 years, so happy to help out with that. And again, purpose of this is just to connect with more people, talk about the stuff that I'm passionate about, connect with other people. And yeah, tell the good stuff going on. So if you've got good stuff going on out there in the community, love to connect with you. The best way to stay up to date with this, other than watching this, is to subscribe to the Good Stuff newsletter. I'll post a link somewhere so you can take a look at that. That's another thing I'm shooting to do once a week or every other week to keep you all updated and stay connected. Tell some stories about what's going on and some of the things I'm getting into. So hopefully you found some value in this, some good stuff. If you did, I'd appreciate a comment. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, how I can improve this to better serve my community, or speak to whatever you're looking to learn or know about. If you got anything I can share, I'd love to do it. So until then, take care.